Congratulations to that man, Mikel Arteta, his backroom staff, all his players.
That's why I think it's
Listen, players and manager have to bring out
it will be the teams to beat. I think they will be a lot of challenges. Really strong defensively. When you win it once, the confidence goes to a different level. And the big challenge for them now is if they can win it 2 in a row, because we wasn't capable of doing it. We didn't do it, our generation. And the challenge for them is try to win it back to back. I think that will be a successful generation.
Before we come back to Patrick, the new anthem, we've had a lot of it this week, understandably so from Tuesday night. This is the moment for the Arsenal squad and staff to enjoy. Changes that Mikel Arteta made. They each took a turn in lifting the trophy there. There's so many subplots, Patrick, but I must ask you about one of them. Eberechi, who of course you managed at Crystal Palace, we know was a lifelong Arsenal fan. We wondered if he'd ever leave Crystal Palace. His first season as an Arsenal fan to end with lifting this trophy.
Our time at Palace, he spent the only team that he had on his mind was Arsenal. He was a big Arsenal, and his dream was to play for Arsenal Football Club. And that was the right move for him because it was important for him to really understand the demand of a high-level football. He's had all the attributes. He's technically really good, really gifted. He understands the game quite really well, but sometimes he needed a little bit more pressure to perform. And going to Arsenal, he needed to fight to get the spot. He needed to perform, he needed to score goals, he needed to make assists. And he did it. He had a difficult period where he started a couple of games on the bench, but he understood that he needed to do more. And I'm glad because he enjoyed his football and he became a really important Arsenal player.
Wonderful scenes. They're able to enjoy for those supporters who are fortunate and lucky enough to be there. The group shot, the staff shot, the family shot, they're all in there. Mikel Arteta constantly talks about the Arsenal family that's got them to this success. And of course, they have their hands on the trophy. Do you agree with Patrick? Is this the ultimate test? They've got a taste of it. Can they go again? Can they retain it? Will they be the team to beat next season?
Well, they absolutely look that way. They're getting better and better. They're not an ageing squad, are they? And I think they'll look at some of what's gone on over the last few years as well, the change that Man City have had to make over the last couple of seasons, the changes that Liverpool did make last season, and what's it resulted in? It's resulted in inconsistency. So I think the best way to go and retain it is to keep the vast majority of this, maybe add another face if required. You search around the world, what player can make this team better? That's very, very difficult. So there's no point just forcing it, there's no point just spending on it for the sake of it. Yes, if a brilliant centre forward came in, go and get him, absolutely. But don't just bring players in to be squad players. They've already got a big, strong, quality squad. They're getting better. I agree with Patrick. I don't think there'll be many changes over the summer, and I think they'll be the team to beat again next season.
And when you think about it, Jermaine, you look at young Max Down there for next season as Mikel Arteta gets thrown in the air. You look at the likes of Miles Skelly, you look at Gyökeres, who you and I watched close up in the North London derby. You would think they'll all be much better again next season in the Premier League. So much, I think, for him to centre forward to come to Arsenal with that much pressure. And he did start well, to be honest, and there's a lot of questions asked of him. But again, to show that character, to still score goals, to be a handful, to work and run. As a manager, that's what you can ask for, really. Because eventually what happens is when you work hard, you get rewarded. You get your luck, and then it's like you've got a bit of momentum, it's like you've got confidence to score goals. But I do feel like next season will be a lot better. Patrick said that to me just before. A lot of players, when you come in at any club, you don't always hit the ground running. And I think now that he's got a taste of this, all these players, they're going to want it again, which is normal. But yeah, you have to respect what they've done this season. It's such a. I think on reflection, I think with Mikel Arteta, in terms of the play, you don't need to bring too many in. But I think you look at him, but actually, what, we're hard to beat, difficult team to beat. Can next season, can we score more goals? Can we create more? And it's something for the staff to work on. But in terms of being hard to beat first, that's the most important thing for me. Selfie sticks are up, rightly so. They all want to sample every single second of this. Meanwhile, at the same time, Mikel Arteta, of course, was assistant to Pep Guardiola. He saw him then deny him title after title in the last 3 years. But a big goodbye is officially underway at the Etihad. It wasn't a winning send-off, but we'll let him off with that. After 20 trophies in 10 years. All his family there today as well, including his 92-year-old father. And he said this was going to be the ultimate test when he saw all the supporters. And there he is, Guardiola Senior, watching on. Guardiola's decade, and a decorated decade at Manchester City, officially over. And he's just trying to compose himself as well before he says a few words. What a word for him, though, Patrick, after all he's gone through, Mikel Arteta. We can see what it means to him, we know what it means to him, but the long hours, the disappointment, and how he's changed the culture of your football.
Yeah, I think great manager always make the right word and right decision. I think the last couple of years, big names, players left the club because he felt that they wasn't really part of what he wanted for Arsenal Football Club. So he made some tough decisions. He bring players with more team mentality, and he really built a successful team on and off the field. I think when you look at those images and you look at when they went through those difficult periods, they always managed to stick together. And I think this is a good sign, and it's a sign from the manager as well. And you can see the togetherness in this team. I think that allowed them to go through those difficult periods. When you let Aubameyang leave, or you let Lacazette leave, they were quite big figures at Arsenal at that time. You can see the direction that he wanted to take, and he's really the brain behind how to build that successful team at Arsenal.
Normally we're seeing shots of a Haaland or a Salah, but actually that sort of those three, Michael, really is a big part. Not Marino, isn't it? But Saliba and Gabriel with Raya was a big part in this title success.
Well, absolutely. You look back on the season and you think, well, where did Arsenal win it? And you'd say that the manager was absolutely brilliant, consistently. He's probably felt the pain of the last few years. He's created that culture. The players have followed him. But then after that, you'd have to say that their goalkeeper and their defence added to that, maybe Declan Rice. But that structure, very difficult team to play against. They haven't outscored everyone. They've not blitzed the league by any means. Another thing you would have to say is the set pieces. They've been absolutely fantastic set pieces. They push the boundaries sometimes, but they have worked to their advantage, and that's the game. If you can get any edge, then you've got to take it. So they've done a lot of good things this season. Patrick mentioned a little while ago that that might have to change slightly. You might have to bring in more goals. You might have to attack a different way. Maybe people will find you out. You might be able to not score as many goals from set pieces, so it might be a new sign. It might be a different way to play. Guardiola's been doing that for years and years and years, finding a new angle, a new way. People work you out in this game, and all of a sudden you've got to find something else. So that's what Arteta will be thinking about next, but for the next week or two, it's just not the Champions League to obviously think about, and then he's got all summer to think about what next week's needs to do.
We've said many times, haven't we, covering these games, Jermaine, whatever team he's picked, look at that bench, look at the players who aren't even on the bench, look at the depth that he now has, and that's been proven by winning the Premier League and going all the way to the Champions League final.
And it's having the right characters in the building, players that understand the rotation, players that understand that you're on the bench, but at some point you're going to come on and change the game. You're going to come on and impact the game, the finishers, I think he called it.